I personally went with the flat lens that is made by Mako Spear Gun because we are promoting frugal spending in diving. It is probably one of the cheapest system I found. It cost me about, see, came in a nice simple bubble wrap envelope. Shipping cost me about $4. They spent about $2 on shipping. The invoice that came out of it said I spent basically $28.40, and that's because I got their version of the red lens filter, which is a piece of plastic that I will stick into my lens mod. And the system itself, actually, if I just bought the housing lens, would have only cost me $21.95. So inside this bubble wrap came this simple envelope, which inside has a plastic flat lens with a protective film on top so it doesn't get scratched. Kind of would not be very good if I get this and it's all scratched up. Now it looks like it's basically telling me I'm going to reuse everything from here, including the seals and the 6 screws that are in this lens right here. So I'm just going to get a screwdriver right now, and I'm going to take out these 6 screws, and then I'm going to see what I need to do. And this is also my first time doing this, so we're doing this together. So I'm going to take apart these 6 screws, make sure I save them because I'm going to reuse these. And the screws are a little bit tight, so you might have to use a little force in the beginning to get it out. I have dove with this before, so as you guys have seen from my other videos, that I have obviously used this, and maybe there's a little bit of salt on it. But overall, it's fairly easy to do. It's pretty straightforward. Just unscrew, take it out. Two more screws after this, and this thing should be coming off. As you can see, it's already starting to pop off now. Make sure you don't lose any of the parts while you're doing this. These are very tiny little screws, and oh, the housing is now off. So I don't think I need this, so I'm just gonna separate the parts right now. Keep all my screws together, and this one is stuck in there. There we go. So there's the little ring that they used to cover the lens. I'm gonna put this on the side right now. And there's the fish eye. And here is the little rubber seal. Now, they didn't tell me whether I need to keep this rubber seal or not, but unfortunately the problem is they do not come with instructions on how to install this thing. So I'm going to have to pretty much guess my way through it, and I'm going to assume yes, I would need that seal. This thing doesn't fit in it, and the seal, actually I do not need the seal because, no, I do need the seal, so I have to somehow peel the seal off from the housing, and it comes right off. So there is the original OEM fisheye, that lens that came with GoPro. So I'm gonna leave this on the side now. Here's the seal. I'm gonna put this back in here. Make sure it's in nice and tight. There we go. As you can see, it's now in place. There is a groove. Make sure it is in the groove correctly. And this before used to just stick on like this flat onto like this thing. Now, there's the protective film, which I'm now going to peel off because I really don't need this. Get off some of the dust that it came with. Make sure everything's all nice and clean. There we go. Now I'm going to put it together. I'm going to match the little holes. And with the screws, I'm going to start plopping them back in one by one. This is a little tougher. My fingers are kind of big. And it's kind of a little hard for me to be doing this. So, to make life easier, I'm going to put all these screws in here first. Because while I don't have to hold the whole GoPro, it might be a little bit easier for me to do. There we go. And I'm putting my finger marks all over the lens. But it's fine, I could just use a small microfiber later to wipe it all clean. Okay, all 6 screws are in. Now going back here, I'm going to check the seal one more time. Don't want this to be leaking, you know. Make sure it's all clean. Make sure it all matches up. I'll push it nice in. And in goes the seal. In goes in. Then this is a lot easier to do because I now have the tip of the screws to help guide me into the place, in place of each hose. And I'm slowly going to start turning them in. And remember not to overturn because this is, after all, plastic. And you don't want to crack the plastic. So once you start feeling some resistance, give it a tiny little tug and that's it. Let it go. Now I'm going to start with the opposite screw, just to make sure everything goes in tightly and it stays in the right format. Now I'm going to cross over here, put this one in, go over here, now opposite screw again, tighten this one, final 2, and the last one. Now I'm going to check them all just slightly, just to make sure they're all nice and tight. It would be terrible if your thing for some reason leaked underwater and your GoPro gets flooded. Looks like it's all good. I now have a flat lens on my original GoPro housing. All it cost me was something under $35. Now if I wanted to